what's up? So, we meet again. And this time it's for something a little bit different. Now, I've been asked a question numerous times, actually, in lots of different forms. And no, it's not, "Oh, why don't you have anything to do with social media?" No, it's not got anything to do with that. If before you say YouTube is a form of social media, I don't consider it to be. If you have a problem with that, file it with the complaints department. There's a reference right there. Can't believe I stole my sister's garbage bin just to do a gag on this. Yeah, anyway, that's not that's not the subject I'm tackling today. That's another thing for another video. Nah. What I'm here for today, something a little bit different. It's the other question I get asked a lot. Why do you There's usually in the form of, "Dude, you need to sort yourself out. Why do you play those games that you play?" Which is usually in a effort to try to convince me to either play FIFA or something along the lines of Call of Duty. Now let's before I get into the main point of this video, I'm going to start with one. I'm not going to play FIFA. For starters, I hate sports. Let's clear that elephant out of the room. Second of all, I hate football. Let's get that out of the way. And thirdly, it's the same thing again and again and again and again with minor differences. I honestly don't see the appeal. Hey, sells, clearly. And I'm not going to call you an idiot or a dweeb because you buy the same game year after year. I might as well, but that's like saying, it's like basically insulting me for getting basically every single new Super Mario Bros. Game. It's basically the same game but recycled. So I'm not going to point any fingers at that. But it is still the same game, just again and again and again. And second of all, Call of Duty or pretty much any other FPS. Violent games are not my type of thing. Yeah, sure, I play Monster Hunter, but that's a little bit different. FPSs, to me, are stupid. No. Now, I will admit that there are some good ones. I won't deny that. There are some good ones. But it's just not the type of game for me. I really feel like I really don't think I should need to say anything else other than that. But, because pretty much anyone who would be watching this by not watching it and just reading the title of the video or looking at the thumbnail, you guys would be the ones who need to understand that you are stubborn. Well, I don't even have the word to use for a almost kids show. But again, this isn't a kids show. This is a thing on the internet that at least 2 people are gonna watch. So yeah. Though then again, these videos usually get around 20 views at some point in its lifespan. So yeah, so while I do want to go on to talk about what I want to talk about, I'm gonna talk about why I hate FPSs. There's I don't know, shooters are just something I despise. I mean, I'm not gonna side with the overactive imaginations of parents, I suppose, in saying that it causes children to go insane and kill, because I mean that's like saying, "Oh, murder didn't exist until video games did." So I guess things like let's see. A big war that I can say pretty much everyone's gonna know for video games, because the only wars I really... It's about War of the Roses. Let's go with that one. That's a nice thing in English history. War of the Roses. Yeah, that happened because they got in a debate over which starter Pokemon was better. Yeah, fact. Let's see another one. Oh yeah, Jack the Ripper. Yeah, he killed all those women because they didn't agree that FIFA was the best game ever. Yeah. See where I'm going with this? Yeah, yeah, those people who think that violent video games equals the violence of everyone on the planet, they're wrong. Violence is a thing whether you play video games or not. I hate violent video games, and I still have quite a few violent tendencies. Very rarely. Very rarely. But I still have them. Trust me, some people will understand that. But, before that goes on for too long, I'm going to talk about what I do like. And if you've read the title of this video, then you probably turned away instantly if you're the people I just talked about. And no, not the stupid adults that think, oh, violence in video games equals violence in real life. No, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it may, but it's not just video games. Even cartoons can do that. I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know why I did that with my almost non-existent eyebrows. At least on camera, anyway. But yes. Anyway, let's start, shall we? Why do I love Super Paper Mario? Yeah, kind of dove into that one. It's the first Let's Play I did. One of my favourite video games of all time. And quite clearly, my third favourite Mario game of all time. I hope that changes. Actually, I really do. But, hey, if Stickstar's anything to go on, if there's gonna be another Paper Mario game, I don't think it's gonna quite compare to Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, even the original. Although I've never played that game, I've seen part of it, and I mean, it looks good. It's kind of, for me, doesn't really feel like a game I'd want to play in the modern era of gaming, or with Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario existing. I mean, those ones just, I don't know, I feel like they blow the original out of the water. But yeah, why do I like Super Paper Mario so much? Why do I love Super Paper Mario? Well, let's, I'm gonna pick it apart through my favourite parts of it. There are three great things about it, but I'm going to be picking apart two things about it, because really, picking apart the comedy and humour, I mean, sure, I could pick out things in the underwear, you know, the, it's not really comedic, the, underhands in the River Twigs, get it? River Styx, River Twigs, JDs and Hades, the over there things. And no, I'm not talking about the NIMBYs, I'm talking about the just things in the over there. Like, Cloud 13 being smaller than pretty much every other cloud. That's a nice little detail. And the forbidden fruits, you know, like Adam and Eve, forbidden apple. Yeah, remember that? Of course you don't. You didn't watch that, did you? Like, pretty much my entire audience skipped out on one of the best episodes. And not because it was good gameplay or something, it was because it was a really good story thing. Which leads me on to not the first thing I want to talk about, the second Okay, no, this is going to be the first thing I want to talk about. The characters. The characters are good. Now, no one is going to disagree with me. The villains are the best characters in Super Paper Mario. They're developed. They express emotion, I guess? Okay, I'm not really good at explaining what they are. It's a really you gotta see it to believe it type thing. But I'm gonna try my best to describe it. And go through the villains. Okay, first of all, you got O'Chunks. The, well, the meathead. You know the one. Every team of anything has the idiot. The strong idiot. The heroes have Bowser. The villains have O'Chunks. I don't know why I did that, because I'm not comparing them. I kind of am, but not in that way. Juggling, and apparently slapping my face in the process. Ha ha, pain is hilarious, especially when it's afflicted on me. But, anyway, back to Super Paper Mario. Yeah, so Chunks, he's the thick-headed idiot with a Scottish accent. I hope that it's Scottish, is all I'm gonna say. It's Scottish or Irish, and I'm not good with accents. Or at least Scottish and Irish. Okay, next we have Mimi. Possibly the most terrifying thing in Super Paper Mario. If you've been around for a while and you remember back in the days when I did that little collaboration thing, it wasn't really a collaboration, but you know, when I did the co-commentary, I think that's a better word for it. You know, the Smash Bros. Probably don't remember that, but hey, it's out there. Not amazing. It's a pretty good example of how someone can improve. Even by my standards, even me, somehow I can improve. I don't believe it either, but yeah, so Mimi. What's there to say about Mimi other than that she is actually kind of terrifying. I mean, the snapping of her neck. She blows up. Yeah, that was kind of terrifying in and of itself. Not someone blew up right in front of you, but numerous parts of her body were flying across the room. That's kind of terrifying. I'm glad it's a Paper Mario game. Because imagine that happening at the end of New Super Mario Bros. U. Bowser falls off the edge of the castle, and then he explodes and pieces of his body flew everywhere. See, it's not quite the same. Bowser exploding and having pieces of him fly everywhere in the New Super Mario Bros. Game, that's probably terrifying because it's a lot better looking than a Paper Mario game, which, even for being paper, is beautiful. That's something, though, that I'm not going to talk about, but is true. The art in just any Paper Mario game, not just Super Paper Mario, is beautiful. But talking about Super Paper Mario, notable ones are Gloam Valley, the Bitlands, just the entire thing, and the Samus Kingdom. If you've watched that almost 2-hour thing, you know what I'm talking about. And no, I'm not talking about the Ended World Samus Kingdom now. Yeah, so Mimi, back to Mimi. Yeah, lost her quite a few times. But yeah, Mimi, she's basically a terrifying type thing. And her and O'Chunks are basically the only villains that don't really develop much, but they're still interesting and, you know, unique in the Mario universe. I mean, yeah, sure, you can draw parallels between her and Duplis, if you know who he is, with both of them being shapeshifters and all. But, you know, Duplis is a Dupla ghost, Mimi is an imp, I guess. But then we move on to one of the more developed minions, or villains, I should say, Nastasia. That is what I'm gonna stick with calling her, Nastasia. She is Count Bleck's assistant, but also as the game progresses, you see a little more of her. This is a character that you kind of see develop. At the beginning, she's basically just a cold-hearted secretary, which is an accurate way to describe her, to be honest. But as the game goes on, she develops into a character that's a little bit more than that. She develops into a character that, even in her ending moments, is kind of unique. I know I said that about Mimi, but Nastasia really is. I mean, you don't really see love triangles going on in Nintendo games. Especially ones that actually end up coming around, not full circle, but coming around to actually happening. You know, romance and all. Next, let's move on to Count Bleck. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll tackle one of my two probably favourite villains last. Count Bleck, of course. Count Bleck is the most developed character in this game, really. He goes from being, just like Nastasia, a cold-hearted demon, into a nice guy. But what really helps character development is that he always was a nice guy. He just lost someone who was very important to him. You know the feeling, when someone dies who's very close to you, and then you kind of just feel like everything is over. You know the feeling? I don't. I'm lucky enough to have all the members of my family who I hold very dear be still alive. Friends, even. I've never had a friend who's died. But I mean, at this age, I feel like that's usually usual. But yeah, but as the game goes on, the count progresses and goes through just development that I can't really do justice. But just to sum it up real quick, he goes from being the cold, heartless monster you think he is, into being the really nice guy who ends up saving all worlds. Okay, next we have the part-time villain, Mr. L. Now, he doesn't really go through too much character development, because he's not one character, he's two. Mr. L, if you haven't played the game, spoilers, which basically this entire video was filled with them. Mr. L is Luigi. Yeah, I know, shocker, right? Didn't look anything like him. To be honest, I must give Nintendo a little thumbs up for that one. You know, that everyone hates Luigi thing, except even though everyone loves him. That no one, not even Mario, recognises that Mr. L is Luigi. And he looks exactly the same. Just with a scarf. And replaces the overalls with some kind of suit. And the L on his hat is reversed. But apart from that, he looks exactly the same. With a slight palette swap. Exactly the same. That's just something I have to give points to from on Nintendo's part, I guess. But yeah, Mr. L develops Luigi in a not too amazing way. But it is interesting to see that while Luigi is hypnotized by Anastasia, he goes through the same thing that Bowser's minions go through, except that Luigi actually becomes evil, and then of course that leads to him being the final boss. Inadvertently, it's not really his fault that the next character that I'm going to talk about has mind control. Stuffs. Now finally, my favourite Mario villain even, Dementio. Dementio, while he doesn't really have development like the Count does, he goes from being what we think is just another minion into the mastermind behind the entire plan to end all worlds. It goes from Dementio just being another goon, and he slowly reveals his plan to you, the player, throughout the game. Each time you meet him, usually outside of Count Bleck's castle, he always says something. Like in the Bitlands, he mentions how the heroes might be strong enough to actually take down Count Bleck. And in Land of the Kragnans, he talks about how they're coming along nicely. And it all accumulates into the battle with between Luigi and Dementio, where just before the fight, Dementio reveals to Luigi and Mario that he's pretty much going behind the Count to defeat him after the Count, in a way, betrayed Dementio. It's a little, not really plot twist, but it's a plot point that I'm going to explain right now, actually. The story. In my opinion, the story is the best part about this game. Now, not only is it probably the darkest Mario game, sometimes reaching, possibly surpassing the level of amazing creepiness that Majora's Mask had, and that's saying something, to just being really heartwarming. And while Majora's Mask did have a few, wow, that's really nice moments, this game is littered with them. There's romance that's resolved, just like Majora's Mask, except this one isn't pretty much instantly reversed as soon as you go back in time, because in this game you don't go back in time. Sure, the two lovers die, but it's to save the universe. But still, the best part about Super Paper Mario for me is the story. Each chapter, in a way, has its own story, and that just adds to the overall greatness of this main story. And of course, the main story is Count Bleck's gonna screw over the world with the Chaos Heart that Peach and Bowser created, blah blah blah, we all know this part. But, you see, there's something more to it. It's more than just the normal, even just Paper Mario game thing of, oh, a bad guy has an artifact? Oh, we have to collect a bunch of stuff to defeat him? Yes, it's always a him in Paper Mario. Yeah, we have to collect a bunch of stuff to defeat him? Let's do it. And then you go around, defeat the guy, usually have sometimes have another boss fight, and then bam, everything's saved. But you see, Super Paper Mario, while like that in its finale, is a lot stronger than just, let's go collect some stuff, now we're gonna go beat the bad guy. Bang. There's actually some emotion put into it, more than just, oh, it's a bad guy with little to no character, apart from, oh, hey, I'm so evil, I'm going to rip your skull out of your nose. Okay, no villain actually reaches that level of intenseness, apart from possibly Dementio and Forful. But Forful's a lot more tame with his implying of death, and Dementio never actually on screen kills anyone. I mean, we don't know what happened in the past, how even Count Bleck and his little crew came to be. I mean, to my knowledge, the only one we know anything about is Nastasia, and it's just a rumour in the game. But this, again, the story, especially the last 2 chapters, 3 chapters, to be honest, Samus Kingdom, the Underwear, and Over There, and of course Castle Bleck. All 3 of these have amazing stories, and while it's not really the story in the Samus Kingdom that makes it so great, the overall outcome in the Samus Kingdom makes it all the more amazing, all the better that it just steps up the amazingness of how dark it can be. I mean, what other Mario game do you know that tackles issues like suicide? Yeah, does anyone actually remember that part? You know, when Dementio tries to kill himself and Luigi. Speaking of which, he tries to kill Luigi twice, and succeeds in a way. Like when he killed Mr. L and kind of killed Luigi, but, you know, he's alright in the end. Everyone turned out alright after getting crushed by a ceiling, falling through a, assumably, falling to their death, and, you know, getting blown up in a box of magic. That's that. But yeah, and just to finish it up, the Over There in Underwear story arc thing is just really, especially the ending, really just beautiful. It's a shame that that's the one part of Super Paper Mario that only got one view. One of the best story parts of the game got one view. The saddest part. Or was it? But anyway, something that I'd just like to say with this, I'm going to be doing a little series of this. Why I love something something. Usually just something. But what's also going to come along with this is a top 10. Probably on Monday. Next week it's going to come out. Probably. But it's going to be my top 10 favourite moments from said game, usually. Sometimes it will be something else, and sometimes it might not even happen. But I know it's soon to do another top 10, and I know they suck. Trust me, I make them that way intentionally. But it's just a game that has a lot of memorable moments for me, personally, and it's just something that I'd like to share with you guys, my opinions. I know I do that with every top 10, but I just want to share with you guys my opinions of the game. So, yeah, actually until tomorrow when I have, gonna get back into the routine of daily uploads, 2 videos a day, hopefully, from now on. Not from now on, but, you know, for a good while. Yeah. This should be happening. But anyway, until tomorrow, two episodes. Not the same thing, but 2 episodes of a game. Sticker Star, Treasure Tracker, and Superstar Saga. 1 episode of each every day, except Saturday and Sunday. Anyway, yeah, guys, I will see you tomorrow for one of those 2 videos. Probably Treasure Tracker first, then Superstar Saga, but you'll probably watch Superstar Saga over Treasure Tracker anyway. So, I will see you guys tomorrow for the 3rd time. I will see you then.